The anime opens on a beach with some men, certainly criminals, scheming to derail the career of a rising politician, Park Moo-jin. Though the criminals appear savage, a storm arises and smites them, wiping the half-island off the face of the planet with a cross mark left behind. In his office, Park Moo-jin is pleased with the progress of his unrevealed plan before revealing the cross shape on his palm. In the next scene, Mori awakens from a dream of his missing grandpa's words in his bedroom. He just so happens to wake up late for the preliminary rounds of a massive tournament called the Gods of Highschool. If any high school student from the whole world wins the main tournament after winning these preliminary stages, his wildest dreams will be fulfilled. Mori maniacally pedals his bicycle to the arena, but he is sidetracked by a groaning old lady whose wallet has been snatched by a bandit on a motorcycle. He chases him on his bicycle and, in the process, slams his bicycle into the face of another tournament participant, Yumira. Ignoring her fury, she boards the bicycle to serve the noble mission. Another participant, Han Daewee, happens to stroll by and literally saves the day by smashing the thief into a vehicle with his earth-shattering punch. The trio returns the wallet to the old lady and gets the chance to get acquainted with each other before the tournament. Soon after, the participants enter the arena sporting nano watches that can heal any wound, permitting the fighters even to harm their opponents. Unexpectedly, they are thrown into a gang bout in the arena. This bout serves as a fast filter to bring out the top fighters. The central trio fearlessly ambushes the competitors along with several other daring warriors, such as a bubblegum bursting lady, a bat wrestling nerd, and a stoic martial artist, who show their skills. At the last minute, another fighter, Kang Mansok, enters to fill out, nay, stir up the stage. Despite his handicap, he subdues everyone with his kicks. Mira tries to strike him, but her weapon is seized, so Mori intervenes and takes over the fight. After finishing the tournament, when the group returns home, they find their route is the same. Mori asks his newfound friends why they are participating in the contest. He starts by stating his motive as a passion for combating diverse fighters. Han does not hesitate to divulge that it is motivated by money, and Mira explains that it is a traditional mission. She wishes to revive her family's dojo by drawing attention to her one-of-a-kind sword. After hearing her remarks, Mori pulls her sword out of curiosity but unwittingly throws it into the river. Mira smacks him and walks alone to retrieve her sword. Later, Mori enters with a flashlight when Mira is looking for her sword in the water. Mira apologizes to him and adds that it was a legacy from her late father. Meanwhile, Han enters the scene with floodlights to help her. Mira lightly refers to them as busybodies, and the group grows friendlier. The next day, the second round of the tournament starts. While Mori is sleeping in the waiting room, the same crippled maniac, Kang, tries to start a fight with him. A fellow participant, Go Gamdu, a practitioner of Tai Chi, verbally stops him. At this, Kang kicks him so hard that his nose bleeds, but Mori saves Gamdu from collapsing. Subsequently, the competition starts, now held in the brackets. Our top trio defeats the run-of-the-mill fighters once more. Later, it turns out Kang and Gamdu are slated to fight, with the latter showing off his Tai Chi skills and initially appearing to win. The tables are soon turned, and Kang takes command, brutally subduing Gamdu. At this, Mori steps in to save Gamdu and comes to blows with Kang. The tournament staff makes a futile attempt to bring the fight to a halt. Mori uses an impressive triple kick technique, knocking Kang unconscious before launching him towards the stadium floor at breakneck speed. Just then, Park Moo-jin, the tournament organizer, makes a badass entry after sticking Mori's body onto the floor with his mysterious powers. He announces that Mori has breached the law, yet they have to decide his punishment. So, Mori is disqualified, and they take him away, shoulder to shoulder, while his power woos the audience. The next bout is between Mira and Misin, the bubblegum bursting lady, who turns out to be a tough opponent and wrestler. Misin gives Mira a hard time in the fight, and the latter's sword gets thrown. Mira then reveals her ability to cut someone's body without touching them and easily defeats Misin. On the other hand, while Park Moo-jin's team discusses disqualifying Mori, Park notices his grandpa's name on the documents, Jin Taijin, the world's best fighter. Then, Park offers Mori a rematch in the tournament if he fights and defeats Commissioner Q. After that, he gives Mori some fruits laced with a special poison to see whether he can withstand it, proving that he has the true strength that Park sought. That night, Mori eats the fruits and bleeds from his mouth. The next round pits Han against Baek Seung-chul, an academic who fights expertly with a baseball bat. He sees through Han's attacks and quickly nullifies them. Baek strikes him with a series of lethal blows, the most potent landing on his stomach. Suddenly, Han destroys his bat and knocks him out, using his skills to the fullest. It is also revealed that Han wants money for the treatment and medicine of his best friend, Seung-tae. In the next round, Commissioner Q waits for Mori in the ring, and Mori unexpectedly appears, having survived the deadly fruits. Moreover, the fruits give him incredible power, enabling him to knock Q off in a flash. Q is offended and summons his monster, who is donned as a clown. Just as the monster is ready to rip Mori apart, the other commissioners and Park act swiftly to save him. They seize Q and rescue Mori. Park now recognizes Mori as his grandpa's tiger cub. Outside the arena, Mira is approached by a handsome man, Sung Jin, who happens to be a famous businessman and a martial artist. He proposes to Mira and promises to acknowledge her family's legacy worldwide. Thinking practically, Mira agrees, going against Mori's advice. Later, Mori finds out about Sung Jin being part of a cult that is after Mira's sword, which is said to have the power to kill even gods. Then Mori and Han infiltrate her marriage and spill the beans in front of Mira. Hearing this, Mira cancels the wedding, and Sung Jin throws a devilish grin. He then summons his demon, injures Mira, and charges at full speed with her sword. On the other hand, Mira is unconcerned. Instead, she apologizes to Mori for exploiting marriage to pursue her interests. In the meantime, Han learns about his friend's declining health at the hospital. To Mori's horror, Han wins the fight against Mira in the next round by viciously hitting her injured abdomen. On his way back from the ring, Han face-to-face dares Mori to beat him in the finals. But we all know he's doing it to pay for his dying friend's treatment. Soon, the last round arrives. Han and Mori square up in the ring. Both give each a tough time, and eventually, Mori knocks Han down but stops attacking further out of pity. Han takes advantage of the situation to strike him and knock him down. Park demotivates Han by disclosing the death of his friend, Seung-tae, just as the referee is counting. In the past, Han has begged Park to use his nanotechnology to cure his friend, which they secretly tried but to no effect. Mira arrives just in time to deliver a goodbye letter from Seung-tae to Han. Reading the letter pulls him back together, and he loses against Mori on purpose. Mori and Mira then carry him from the arena in their arms while Park praises them from afar. Elsewhere, Jin Taijin, the missing grandpa, is approached by a cult clan dubbed Nox, seeking his help in a quest, but he dismisses them. Then they get into a scuffle. Now that Mori has won the regional tournament, he will compete at the national level as one of 3 regional fighters, the other 2 being Mira and Han. The Nox clan is seeking the same thing that Park is after, waking a hidden key, which the main winner can only do. The key is said to have the power to challenge God. Hence Park wants to use it while Nox intends to destroy it. After learning about the Nox clan, Park decides to call a meeting of members of a club, the Six, to discuss the situation. Na Bongsham, one of the senior members, makes his first appearance. Bongsham takes Mori under his wing and teaches him new techniques. The remaining members will also appear soon. In the next scene, Mira walks to the grocery store, where she sees Bongza, the tournament announcer/referee. He grinds to a stop to speak with her and advises her on properly using the sword, which involves channeling her emotions into it. After her leaving, Bongza is accosted by a Nox assassin named Drake, who kills him and subsequently goes to kill Commissioner Q. At Park's office, Han is inquiring about summoning the monster. So Park tells him about Charyok, fighters who draw strength from gods, demons, and even historical figures, and Park is looking for the strongest. The leading trio learns of Bongza's death shortly as the national tournament begins. The fighters are 3-person teams, but each fights one-on-one. To win the combat, a team must have 2 members to advance to the next round. Mori's Seoul team competes against the North Chungcheong regional champions. Mori enters first, but he becomes immobilized due to the incorrect use of the techniques he learned from Bongsham. So, he gets subdued. In Commissioner Q's condo, Drake is bragging about killing Bongza and his family when Q revives, having previously pretended to be dead. He summons his Charyok, a Joker-like demon, who slashes Drake's arm but regenerates it with his Charyok. Then a fight breaks out, with Q having an edge, but it is cut short by the arrival of 2 Nox members, Priest Saturn and Axley Ivanovich. They trap Q with their spells, and Judge O appears in time, rescuing Q with his dragon, Charyok. The Nox pair runs while Drake explodes himself, hoping to kill Q and O with the explosion, but they easily escape. While in the ring, Han and Mira defeat their opponents, allowing the squad to proceed to the next round. Park deduces that their unit has a mole who has revealed Q's coveted address. Jin Taijin's severed arm is also discovered, implying that he was defeated and caught. The match continues with Jegal Tech's team, and Tech shows out to be a nasty sadist, injuring his opponent in a blood pool with his Charyok, Megalodon. Han intervenes in the match and tries unsuccessfully to stop him. Because of this, Han is disqualified from the match. The following team enters the ring and is chosen for the semifinals owing to Park Ilpio's ancient martial skills. Mori notices the tiger logo on Ilpio's jacket and grows keen because the same logo was on his grandpa's military suit. Later, Ilpio approaches Mori and tells him that his father died and his mother left him. He adds that Taijin inspired him by giving him a Taekwondo training handbook written by Ilpio's deceased grandpa. At the same moment, Tech tries to murder Ilpio, nearly killing Mori, but Ilpio saves him. On the other hand, Han is intrigued by Charyok and asks Q about training him by bribing him. The semifinals have arrived, and now that Han has been disqualified, both Mira and Mori must win. On the other hand, Mori goes missing from the match, having received a picture of his grandpa shackled in a room. Mira chooses to go to the match, hoping that Mori will arrive on time. Mori tries to locate his grandpa, only to find that he is a doppelganger who explodes as Mori gets closer. It turns out that a Nox member did this with the mission of filtering the weak fighters. Mori awakens, having survived the explosion, and correctly employs the technique he learned from Bongshim to augment his power, effortlessly killing the Nox member. In the ring, Mira is fighting a muscular Chad, Marin, whose dead body is discovered by Mori on the spot, so Mira is fighting a double. During the duel, Marin stabs Mira with her stolen sword, now called the Fengxian sword, revealing that he has unlocked its true powers. Mira is saddened by this and gets stabbed by Marin. She loses hope until she is struck by divine inspiration, which grants her the Charyok Lu Bu Fengxian and actual possession of the Fengxian sword. After this, she quickly subdues Marin. Then, Mori also arrives on time in the ring and defeats his opponent using techniques reminiscent of his grandpa's to the six, who are watching the bout. Later, it is revealed that Tech is also a member of Nox and is after the key. Soon, the final match will begin, and Ilpio will face Mori. Sang Mandiak, a high-ranking Nox cultist, has invaded the arena with his troops. Sang summons his god, but one of the six, Seo Hanryong, strikes the god with his 108 national treasure weapons to protect the arena. After a tough war, God is vanquished and returned to whence he came, culminating in the arena's rescue. Meanwhile, Mori and Ilpio's conflict is becoming more interesting. Throughout the duel, Ilpio brings out Mori's flaws, culminating with Mori overcoming these flaws right on the spot. Both opponents give each other stiff competition. Their friends soon realize Ilpio is intentionally training Mori in the ring, and Ilpio recalls his promise to Taijin to teach Mori. Back in the present, Mori uses his Tempest Dragon technique to knock Ilpio unconscious. We all assume the fight is over, but Ilpio reappears in the ring, now as a fox, startling everyone. Mandiak also states that the key has been activated. Then we are thrown into the story of the Nine Tails. The nine-tailed fox spirit used to reside in the heavens and was powerful enough to frighten God. However, after being deceived by God, he destroyed half of the heavens and fled to earth, vowing vengeance. Ilpio is in anguish after activating his powers. Then he summons a swarm of fire foxes to attack Mori. But Mori calls a far stronger force, unaware of what it is, and easily overcomes the Nine Tails. Park's delighted that there is much more power than the key. Ilpio is the awakened key. Then, the park officially closes the God of Highschool tournament. Afterward, Sang Mandiak calls on a god and other creatures to bring the earth to its knees. Fearing for the worse, the US government launches nuclear missiles against Seoul. As Tech is after the key, he fights with Ilpio and uses his Charyok to consume him, releasing the key. Just as the most sought-after key appears in front of everyone, things culminate in pandemonium. The six, Mori and everyone else rushes for the key. Mori gets the key, and Park teleports all of them to a safe location. Ilpio officially hands Mori the key, instructing him to keep it safe from Tech. Tech arrives at the sanctuary and demands the key, but Han and Mira refuse to oblige him and unite to activate their respective Charyok. Tech still outmatches them, so Mori steps in. Meanwhile, one of the six, Joan Yazin, teleports everyone away from danger. Yazin employs alchemy to transform America's nuclear weapons into a monument. He also conjures what appears to be a meteor, which causes an explosion. Because of this, Mori and the others are whisked back to Seoul, where Tech grabs the key from Jin and swallows it. He is reincarnated, first as a newborn, then as an angel with wings, and lastly as a god. Mori, Han, and Mira's efforts to fight him are pointless now that he is a god. Tech goes after Mira first, throwing her into Han. The two make a sizable effort to attack back but inevitably fail. Enraged by the attack on his friends, Mori utilizes pressure points to increase his power and strike Tech, but to no avail. Tech seeks to kill Mori with an energy spear, but Han takes the hit, causing Mori's ascent to godhood. It turns out that Mori is the Monkey King, to put it another way, the god. Without wasting time, Mori calls forth a Ruyi staff and swings it with skill, changing its size and shape, and proceeds to destroy Tech. He attacks him with a volley of punches, even unleashing a deadly lightning strike using his abilities to conjure nimbus clouds. Tech becomes infuriated and transforms into a monstrous creature. Mori's crew pulls together, unleashing their Charyok, to launch a group assault and finally end Tech. Soon, Tech vanishes, leaving only a shard of the key behind. Soon after, one of the six appears and declares Mori the winner. She asks for his wish, and he selflessly desires to heal the physical bodies of the people and fighters hurt in the conflict, despite his desire to reconcile with his grandpa. She fulfills the wish and informs him that his grandfather is fine. After hearing this, Mori loses consciousness as a side effect of combat weariness. 3 months later, he awakens, and Han and Mira inform him that they must travel to the Monkey King's heritage to restore his memories as a god. The anime ends there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.